Welcome back. You're listening to the Cindy Laverty Show on CRN Talk Radio. My guests today, if you're just joining us, are Sonica Tinker and Christian Peterson, and they are the founders of LoveWorks. I would encourage you, if you want to learn more about growing and your relationship, making it better, and rising, as Sonica says, check out their website, loveworksforyou.com. Thanks so much for being here, both of you. We were talking about your passion. What is your passion in helping people through this?
Yeah, I want to jump in and say I'm passionately committed to that relationship be this place from which everything is possible, because we feel so nourished, empowered, lifted up, fulfilled, satisfied, juiced up that everything is possible. You know, I remember the old personal development guru, Zig Ziglar.
Yeah.
When people asked him how he had been able to build an empire that had touched millions of people and made millions of dollars and sold millions of books, he'd always say that he had the home court advantage everywhere he went. And what he meant with that was that his relationship was so solid that he felt that he could do anything from there. And how we say that is, you know, when you get to find out to work your relationship like that, there is no energy lost in bickering with each other and feeling unhappy. And all the creative energy we have is now available to go create, you know, whatever it is we want to create in the world.
Well, it's exactly what all of us want. But I've heard the two of you say that we create more of what we don't want in a relationship. So how does that work, and why do we do that?
Well, I'll tell you how we explain that is, you know, in the beginning of a relationship, everybody's all, you know, seeing the best in each other and reinforcing that.
Or not seeing the worst, that's for sure.
Exactly. You know how we say it is our partners show up as fabulous with maybe a teeny little bit of garbage.
Right, right.
And then as we go along a relationship and we get disappointed and hurt, we start to see and focus in on the worth, and the scales start to tip until now our partners are mostly garbage with maybe a little bit of fabulous. And really what changes is, what we say is, what changes is our story about the other person, what we're looking for. It's not that the other person changed. It's what we're focusing in on has changed. We always say the quality of our relationship is the quality of the story we tell. It's about ourselves, about our partners, and about our relationship.
Actually, let me tell a quick story about that we got from one of the grandfathers of scientific relationship research. His name is Dr. Henry Grayson. He did this experiment with his wife where for 2 weeks he would alternate thinking only positive things about her and their relationship one day, and the next day he would think only negative things about her and their relationship. For 2 weeks he would alternate positive, negative, positive, negative. And whenever he came home on the positive days, she would be welcoming him at the door, maybe have a drink ready for him. They would end up having sweet, romantic, connecting time on the couch. They just had a splendid evening. And then on the next day, after one of his negative thinking days, when he came home, she would be nowhere to be found. When he called out her name, she would, he might get a grouchy from the back of the house, and they consequently ended up in a spat of some sort.
So he manifested this.
He did. And the trippy part is that after 2 weeks, he then told her about this, and she was very relieved that it was an experiment, of course. And being scientific people, they reconstructed her experience. And it totally matched. On his negative days, she was walking around at home thinking, remembering negative stuff about their relationship.
Right.
And vice versa on the positive days.
Right.
And he's like actively co-creating even his partner, and you don't even have to be in the same room or on the same block.
That's pretty amazing. Well, you also say that the harder we try to fix it, the worse it gets. So how does that work?
Well, it's the same thing. So typically what we do to improve our relationships, most of us we're attuned enough that we know something went wrong because we're not feeling as great as we did when we began.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, all of a sudden you say no to me all the time.
Right.
All of a sudden you criticize me. You don't tell me how great I am. All of a sudden, so on and so forth. So what I do to put it back to where it was is I tell you, you don't listen to me anymore. You always criticize me. You never want to have sex with me anymore. You used to say yes all the time. Now you only say yes every other Wednesday or never. So I keep telling you that. And as I do that, I create you to be more of a person who doesn't listen, who doesn't want to have sex with me, who always criticizes me. And I have the expectation that my telling you will make you change.
Right. Right.
Just by saying, you don't listen to me, you never want to have sex with me, that's going to make you change. But in reality, it solidifies you into the role of somebody who criticizes, somebody who doesn't want to have sex. And you also just know from personal experience, when somebody tells you, you never want to have sex with me, your first reaction is not to want to have sex with the person.
That's true. That's
so
absolutely
we just dig ourselves deeper and deeper and deeper into the trench, and really what we're attempting to do is improve our relationship. And that's kind of the everyday tragedy of relationship, is all our good intentions and attempts to improve dig us deeper into the muck.
Yeah, one of the things we always say is we are never, ever passively observing and describing what we are seeing. We are always actively creating with our speaking and our thinking. Always, always. And that is one of the biggest things people don't know about relationship. We don't know that when we are complaining, that we are actually feeding that complaint over and over with our attention, our speaking, and our thinking.
So, okay. So what I hear a couple of things that you're both saying is that, one, most of us have no idea how to maneuver through a long-lasting romantic relationship and do it right.
Yep. You got that one.
Okay. And two, what do you do if you have something you want to say to your partner or your spouse, and how do you bathe that so it doesn't feel like criticism?
Well, it's really great, because one of the first distinctions when we work with people that we support people to have in their relationships is we make a distinction between who you are as the best of yourself, right? This fabulous place that exists in all of us, right? Where we're loving and we're powerful and we're sincere and we're giving and, all the best qualities. And how we happen to be acting. And when we make a distinction between what we say, who we really are, and how we happen to be acting in the moment, then it gives us a way to talk about the behaviors that doesn't cement in that, you are somebody who doesn't listen. Instead of course, you're this person who really wants to listen to me and have connection just like I do. And when you do this particular behavior, I have this experience, and I'd really like to work out another way with you where we can both have the experience we desire. Like now I'm not what I say boxing you up into this characterization of you just are this way. End of story. The second I characterize you and say you are somebody who never wants to have sex, I lock you up into this assessment where you can't show up as anything other than that, as long as I'm committed to seeing you that way.
Okay, so what we're saying here is that it's okay to be very clear about what your needs are and how you need to have them met. It's just not okay to label and categorize and stick someone in that place. And I got to take another quick break. I'll be right back. You're listening to Cindy Laverty's show. Stay with us.